welcome back. We got another RLC car here. It's been a little while. Let's get into it. This video is going to be a little bit more critical though. I'm gonna go quite harsh on this car and do a quite honest review on it. So if you're one of those Hot Wheels fans that just can't take any criticism on your favourite brand, run away now. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's crack on with this RLC car. Titles and thumbnails mean you already know what it is, so let's get it open. Oh wow. Slightly larger box than usual. So, here we have the Hot Wheels 94 Honda NSX. Look at that. And this is the one that comes with the light up lights and such. Just going to quickly cut that seal there. So this cost me a whopping £43 from the Mattel UK website. However, they have sent this out super fast because, what was this, 2-3 days ago I bought this? Absolutely incredible. So this car has already caused some mixed opinions with the collectors. Let's read a few of the forum posts about it, shall we? It's going to be a hard pass on this one. I think the packaging is fine. It's easy to take out, to charge and view. I'm all for lighting and sound technology being added to some castings. We are creeping into remote control territory price point wise, so why not more features? Yikes! Nearly $80 Canadian with taxes and shipping. I just can't justify the expense. The blue is perfect. I love the spoiler and lights feature. I'm not a big fan of the matte black, but I love that shade of blue though. Ugh, a real shame it's in a nested felt box. Those don't fit into my displays. That's a good comment on this one. While the light up feature is cool, I'll probably turn them on once to make sure they work and then never use them again. And this is a good point I'll actually talk about later. I quite like this one. It doesn't matter to me if there are lights or not, but in my situation, Ryu's NSX lights are on constantly because my kids use it as a police car. Honestly, it's held up pretty well. Absolute legend letting his kids play with it. That is so cool. I would have loved that. 1/64 scale police car. That would have been amazing. Good point here. My main issue is they are pop-ups that don't go down. If they could be flipped down, I'd grab one. With them up and the light's not on, it just looks a tad odd to me. I think they're better off making cars that light up with regular headlights, so they look better when off. Just my opinion, of course. But I totally agree with his opinion on that. Right, so it's time for my opinion, but as I said, I'm going to go pretty harsh on this because I was kind of on the fence about buying this one as well. But yeah, let's start opening it because we've been here long enough. Oh, of course, they have to come with extra gubbage, don't they? So that's why the outer box is bigger. Well, this is a very familiar style box. Let me get this little package here, which I assume will have a tiny little charging cable in. So there is the outer box. Now, to start off with, the box has been a bit of a, well, actually, we'll quickly do this. Excellence comes in many forms, with the NSX checking plenty of boxes. Designed for everyday driving with a supercar feel, it showcases a delicate balance of engineering, innovation and daily comfort. Built with a mid-engine layout for balanced handling, precision suspension and steering, grip and cornering are best in class for this 90s ripper. Along with the VTEC V6 engine and optional paddle shift F-matic transmission, this machine is pure performance top to bottom. The visual appeal is kicked up a notch with an Otto Blue Spectra Flame and gloss black body, complemented by dark metallic silver 10-spoke Real Rider wheels, creating an absolute stunner. The lit NSX license plate nods to the functioning headlights and taillights. Nah, really? But yeah, so this is the box that's already created a little bit of discussion. I get acrylic cases are nice, but I actually do like these boxes. I get they're a little bit harder to display. But yeah, you can slide the car out, oh wow, and then it's just nested in this plastic container there. I get it, these probably aren't the easiest or nicest to display and look at, but for a car that you might want to take out and open up, you know, enjoy the feel of opening it and taking it apart multiple times. Yeah, these boxes are definitely the best for that. The acrylic cases, you can do it, but they're a bit of a pain. You've got the screws on some of them. And then obviously the regular carded stuff, you have to rip them out or cut them out. But anyway, Should we just let's just carry on. Let's just carry on. So, the car. First things first, that blue. Whoo! One moment, there is a kid outside crying, so now I have to pause my video again. Yeah, look at that blue. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So it's got this kind of, well, I wouldn't say matte, it's kind of just a basic gloss black two-tone. It's alright. I don't think it ruins it. But yeah, it's definitely a bit of a contrast. And I think it's hard to say because it feels a bit more real. I don't know how to describe that. Something about the blue on the black feels a bit more real than kind of one of these fully painted RLCs. This one's getting a bit dusty now. It just, I don't know how to describe that, but a full shiny car just seems less realistic in a way. I mean, even the Targa top Porsche here has got proper flat matte black, and that looks absolutely fine. I think the issue with this one is just how far they've gone with it, and I do agree it probably is to cover this button. They probably couldn't Spectraflame the button, perhaps. I don't know why. But yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, and most of the people that regularly watch me will know, I absolutely adore the idea. I think it's so freaking cool putting tiny little lights in these 1/64 scale cars, and it's something I would have dreamed of having as a kid. And I have tried myself to do it with my own customs. I really want to get back into that, but I never quite figured it out. So that is obviously why I had to buy this one. But realising they were going to release another without the roof lights, with Spectraflame, I was like, oh, I have to have that. Then it all started, like, kind of dawning on me, like, why is it another NSX? They have, I know they've already got the tooling and they've managed to make it fit, but like, I don't know, Mattel, that does feel a bit lazy. I know I'm being nitpicky, but that feels really lazy. Could you not have put it in another car? You know? And like someone else said, could they have not put it in a car without pop-up headlights? So when these are off, they just kind of look there. I mean, it's not terrible, but obviously normally when the lights are off, the pop-ups wouldn't be up, would they? Pretty sure that's how that works. So, you know, imagine if they did it to, let's use this Evo as an example, a car like this, where you got the lens lights. Not only would the car look cooler, because it's already got the lens lights, because it needs them for the lights to shine through, the lights will then, you know, it just looks so much cooler. And, of course, more people would probably get hyped for a new release or a cool new version of a light-up car. But we have just got another NSX. So, yeah, that's my first big nitpick. The second one being, and I'm going to have to go on Google to double-check and look at some NSXs, but what is going on with this door mirror here? They've just cut a whole chunk out of the door just to fit it in. Now I will admit, and I'll get some pictures up, this does look a whole lot worse in the images they put up online. The actual advertisement images make this look worse. In person, obviously, it's a lot smaller, and I don't have those super zoomed up cameras that they use, or lenses that they can use to get the images, but it is obvious, you know. I don't know. Now I'm looking for it, it's obvious, but it's just a bit weird. And here's the original car. No, they didn't cut a chunk out the door to put the door mirror on, so that's something. I'm sure this is just because they've had to use... I don't get it. Because they said they can't... I've heard somewhere they can't Spectraflame paint door mirrors, but they clearly can. So I'm not really sure why, unless they just wanted them to be black to match with the top half of the car. I don't know, it just seems a weird way of doing it. I get that the mirrors are sort of on the door on the main car, but yeah, weird. I just feel like it's just kind of like they've had to stick that on afterwards. It feels a bit like an afterthought. So they're my main two things with this, that and the quite heinous price, but of course it is a Spectraflame car and it has got all the lights and the battery and all that stuff. So yeah, it does make them rather expensive. But another really good point that was pointed out, the RC cars are, well, the first release was not much more, minus the postage, was basically the same price as this for the R32 RC car. A whole freaking RC car for the same price. This just feels like the markup is too high. They've pushed up the prices way too high. I know the second release of the Lamborghini was about £60 odd, I think. I'd love to compare it for size and what it looks like, but mine hasn't arrived yet. They haven't shipped those. So, I don't know. It just feels really expensive. Yeah, but other than that, ignoring those two things, the details do look awesome. The license plate's really good. The exhaust actually looked really good on this one as well. The detail on that. Obviously the lights being lit up means they're lensed, so that just immediately improves it. Side markers. All the front details look pretty good. And we do actually get some interior details as well. So they've managed to get it all in there as well as having an interior. There's the engine in the back as well. How cool is that? So I'll give them credit there. They've managed to get this all crammed into this tiny little package as well as having an interior. And then there's the base. And again, they have to have a plastic base on these ones, which some people do admit it makes it feel a little bit less premium. But I think the whole weight of it overall, with all the gubbins in, it's weighty enough that I don't really notice that personally. 5 volt, 0.5 amp. There's the base. Decent amount of detail, as well as the little USB for charging it there. So it's really nice that they're rechargeable. Is that a switch? There's a switch there as well. That must be to turn it off, so it doesn't turn on when you push the spoiler, maybe? Oh yeah, off. So it's a much more decisive switch on this one. Hang on. That I remember from the last car. Huh. Awesome. Yeah, I think it's all very cool. Let's see what it looks like. Lit up, shall we? Oh, yeah. Oh, there's something so cool about it reflecting. And having the, bit of a gap between the number plate there. Ooh. It's showing up all the gappage. Oh dear. But yeah, there's something so cool about it having these light up on a reflective car, on an actual Spectraflame painted car. Oh, the front lights aren't on, so I assume you can do... Oh, now they're both on. So there's the front lights. Yeah, there's something really cool about them lighting up on a shiny car. So you can do back, both, back, off. Seems to be a weird choice. Okay. And obviously that switch can turn it off. Yeah, I'm going to try and get some close-up shots in places of things, but see if you guys might be able to see some more of that interior detail and the engine and that. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. In person, it does look really, really good. I love the colour. The black isn't too bad. If you look at it from like the back or sides, it just looks amazing. And those rims, the wheels really do look good on this car. The NSX is a cool casting anyway. I don't know. It does seem weird they've reused the same one again. And the little bits of the door mirrors just, I don't know, just a bit irritating. I feel like it could have been slightly better for the price point. I think the biggest issue is just how bloody expensive it was. Yeah, it's a big dent in the bank account, especially with all the castings that are coming out currently. Mattel are slam firing through some cool casting, especially with the next line of chases for the fleet lines coming out, and obviously we're all going to want multiple of them and a chance to get the chase, you know. So yeah, overall though, I do really like this casting, and I do think it's an improvement from the Ryu's one. I get the Ryu's one has a bit more to it, being that it's Ryu's ride and all that, and I guess having the flashing lights as well is a unique feature. Although, to be fair, Oh, it's obviously got a auto timeout feature as well, so the lights don't actually stay on that long. That, or it's running out of battery already, who knows. But then, to be fair, this was actually cheaper, and technically has more, because it has more lights and flashing features. In fact, let's get it out and have a bit of a look. This one comes in a much more unique box, but I'll be honest, I don't particularly like it as much as this new version. It's just much more of a faff. Oh god, and then the car falls out. It's kind of cool, it's different, but yeah. So here's the original Riders Ride in red. Again, this one actually did have an interior. I had completely forgot about that. And the lights are still pretty well hidden there. This is kind of a marvel. I imagine this has probably run out of battery. Yeah, the switch on this one was never very decisive. This one has run out of battery. This would be a good time to look into here. What's actually in here? Probably just a cable. Wow, the world's longest cable. Oh my god, it's too long. Let me just bring in this Aldi special work light to use as a battery bank. Plug the car in. Ah, it's back to life. Yeah, the button on this one's not very... It works, but it doesn't click much like the other one. It doesn't feel as nice. But there's the original in the red. If this was Spectraflame red, I think this would be the ultimate one. But, yeah, there's obviously something to do with that button. And in fact, I'd say the shade of red on that button looks slightly different too. So yeah, it's kind of personal preference, but I do think the Spectraflame on this one and the wheels do just really look... They just stand out so much more and look so much cooler. So yeah, it's kind of a personal preference of what you want there, really. Personally, I do believe that this is an upgrade over the previous version, but, you know, looking at it... Oh, now I don't know. Oh, actually, this did have a... Hang on, this did have a bit of a cutout. The mirrors are put on separately, but because they're painted the same colour, it's not as obvious. They should have just painted these blue. They really should have. I don't know. They're kind of right, though. This has just sat in the box since I've had it and not really had it on display. I say, oh, I love the light up features, but then I've barely touched them since having them. So I don't know. My display's all a bit chaotic at the minute. I really want to get some displays done. So these will probably end up in some kind of unique display somehow. But yeah, until then, they are right. They will just sit in the box. I don't know. I might put this on my desk for now, and then I can plug it in and play with it. This just looks really cool, and for some reason, this just, to me, is the better one of the two. It just stands out so much more and looks cooler. I'm not too, keen on the safety car flashy aspect. It's already died. And all this faff of this box is just a pain. Well, that was a horrifically long video. Hopefully there's something worth watching there. But yeah, this is kind of a bit of a controversial car, so do let me know down below in the comments what you think of this car and what you think of the electronics as a whole. I have noticed from the forums there seems to be a trend of people wanting moving parts and extra features rather than electronics and lights. And of course, the territories now with the RC cars with all the lights, these are kind of a bit... I don't know. I personally really love the idea, but they just got to somehow get the cost down. They are ridiculously expensive, and it is really quite a shame that the only two that I know that exist are both NSXs. A cool casting, but there's so much more potential for a car that hasn't got pop-up lights, I reckon. There really is. But that's just like my opinion, man. So yeah, let me know yours down below. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Me and my phone are both burning up in this heat wave we're having. So we're going to call it there. But yeah, let me know. Did I waste my money? Hopefully not, because I'm not made of money and I've got a lot of things I want to do.